Hey YouTubers, so today I'm going to be teaching you the branches of the maxillary artery. There's a ton of branches and it can be overwhelming if it's your first time seeing it. So I found the easiest way to approach it is with a nice mnemonic, as well as a mnemonic for remembering the orientation, whether the branches go up or down. So let's get started. We know that the maxillary artery is one of the terminal branches of the external carotid, and the other branch that's the terminal branch of the external carotid is the superficial temporal. So keep those in mind. So there's a bunch of mnemonics on the internet. The one that I like to use, and I'll write it out here in a second, it's damn, I am pissed drunk, but pissed. And you'll find that there's a lot of them on the internet. Some of them work for you, some of them don't, and they all depend on what branches you need to know. So I'll write that out here, and then we'll get into the branches as far as what they are. So, damn, I am pissed, drunk, but pissed. And pissed is spelled P-I-S-D, so just keep that in mind. So the other thing that we need to do here quick too is the professors in a lot of schools like to segment different arteries into different categories as far as there's a segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Like the axillary artery has 3 different segments that you have to know. Well, the maxillary artery also has 3 different segments, and the easiest way to remember those segments is it's 5, 4, 4. So the first 5 branches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are off in their own little zone in segment number 1. Then the next 4 are zone number 2. And then the next 4 are zone 3. That's the easiest way to remember that. So let's get into doing the mnemonics. Okay, so D. D first here is going to be your deep auricular, which is followed then by your anterior tympanic. Sorry, it's been a long day. Next one is your middle meningeal. And then that's followed by your inferior alveolar. I think I'm spelling these right. The next one, or the last branch off of your first segment, is the accessory meningeal. Okay, then we got the masseteric, which goes to the masseter muscle, which is one of the 4 muscles of mastication. And that's the first muscle, or the first branch in segment 2 of the maxillary artery. So the next one we have here is the pterygoid, or pterygoidal branch, whatever you want to call it. Then that's followed by the deep temporal. And then we have the buccal. That's the last branch in the second segment. And then we get into the third segment. And this one right here is kind of tricky. It's posterior, superior, alveolar. Then the next one we have is your infraorbital. And then we have the sphenopalatine. And then finally we have the deep or descending palatine. So those are the branches that we have to know here. Every school has something different. But now the other difficult thing to do, especially when you're in the lab, is figuring out which ones go where. As far as orientation standpoint. So the easiest way I've found to remember that is just to make a quick numbering mnemonic. And the way that I do that is I like to use 1s and 2s. So the 1s in this situation are going to be oriented up, and the 2s are going to be oriented down. And so the mnemonic I have for this one is just 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. So it's 1 1 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 1. So it's kind of like if you're in music at all, it's oh, I forget the type of beat you would describe it as, but that's kind of a 6/8 kind of deal. But so that's how I like to do it. So if we do the ones and the twos, so this would be 1 1 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 1. Ones would be up, twos would be down. So we have up, 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 down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So it's just a quick way, you know, if you're in lab and you're trying to figure out something, you don't need to know the name of it necessarily, you're just trying to figure out what it could be based on multiple choice. This is an easy way to do it for remembering orientation. So this is the maxillary artery. It gets confusing, but just take it one step at a time and write it out a lot on the whiteboard, and it'll come to you like second nature. So thanks. Stay tuned for more videos.